So the Excel file has opened up. We're going to talk a little bit about the fields. So we've got the dates, we have line item quantity, price, we have the account. So this is not the line item account, this is the basic account of the invoice, which should always be account receivable. Then we have the invoice lined account, which should go to sales, obviously. Partner is our customer name. Then the journal will always be where we're booking, so it's customer invoices in our case. Move underscore name, this is a forced invoice number. We're going to get back later on this, but do remind yourself that this is going to be your invoice number. Next, last is the description, which is on the invoice line. We're not going to take product right now because we don't have inventory in the system right now. Let's just do a basic import test. So I'm just going to hit save, and we're going to import this file. It's going to take a little while. Great, so this has loaded up and everything's perfectly fitting into the mapped database accounts, as you can see. Otherwise this should give us an error, but to double check we must click test import. Oops, we've got an error. So that's obviously because we don't have these customers in the list. So I'm going to update the Excel sheet in front of you. Alright, so sales was not recognized, customer name was not recognized. So we're going to go and look at what the chart of accounts tell us. So first tab would be, again, get back to the developer options. I would do it in a different way this time. So we just need to type in question mark debug. Right. Great, I'm going to head over to user settings because the chart of accounts is not activated under this user. For that purpose you just go to your administrator and then you go to preferences and you click on edit. Sorry, that's not preferences, you're going to have to go to access rights. Okay, and then scroll down and you need to say tick mark on show full accounting features and then press save. This is going to take a little while. Oops, I'm going to hit save again. Alright, this should work this time. Right, that's done. So we're going to go over to the invoices section and refresh the page. You will notice that the accounting section will now show another section of chart of accounts, which is absolutely necessary for us to see which account or if a new account is needed to be created. Okay, the page has refreshed. There you go, chart of accounts. I'm just looking for the sales account. It has to be exactly the same. So we have here product sales. So it is product sales. So on our Excel sheet we should mention it exactly as we saw it there. And we need to look for the customer name, which is known as partner. Let's go and see what customer name has been saved in the system. Okay, I'm going to pick any random customer name. camp to camp. Let's just use that. So I'm going to type in camp to camp. Make sure that's the right customer name. Camp to camp, that's right. Alright, everything looks good so far. Let's hit save and let us try to import this invoice now. One thing that I'd like to let you know is if your invoice number has a hyphen like this, this is going to be ignored by Odoo. So once you save, it's just going to take that character out of the digits. So let's go ahead and import. Let's load this file again. Great, everything looks good. Let's test import. Perfect. Everything seems valid. Now we're ready to import this invoice. So click on the import button here, and this invoice is right here in the draft stage. That's how you import invoices. You can do that to unlimited number of invoices and you'd see that result. The reason why you don't see the number here is because it's not yet posted. So in order to post, you need to hit validate button. The other thing, the last thing that I'd like to talk in this video is to how do you force an invoice number, because we don't really have a field here. So this is when you're creating a new invoice. Let's just say, let's do it live, create a new invoice. Okay, so you don't really have an option here to write an invoice number because Odoo would give its own invoice number. So in this case, what you do is you see a beetle on the top right hand corner, says open developer tools, edit form view, and this is going to show up a view like what fields are being selected here, what are being invisible. So we have to basically edit the field that would give us access, which is this move underscore name. You would recall that I mentioned about this field when we were doing the Excel inputs. You notice it says invisible here. What we need to do here is to remove this invisible. That would show up the field on the form. So basically you would just remove this field until the end and hit save. Now this is not like Python, so you don't have to do a server reset, but you will have to reload your browser. So you just hit refresh, and that just needs to bring the page again, and you'd see another field. Guys, I would like to let you know though, the next video we're going to put on is giving access rights to users, such as not allowing them to validate or post the entries, rather just save them in a draft status. This gives this would help you set up a hierarchy of how you manage your approvals and system in the company. So as you can see now, we see journal entry name here. This is the move underscore name field that we mentioned earlier. Whatever you input here is going to be your invoice number once you click validate number button. I'm going to show you a quick example here. So we're going to say this is the invoice number, and I'm just going to pause the video and input the rest of stuff. Great, so I've input this stuff. I'm going to click validate number. You would notice that this number here would become the invoice number of this entry. Normally this is not the case. Odoo would have its own invoice number. So as you can see, this has been forced to be the invoice number. This can be done in an alternative way through there's an app called Journal Force Number, which I will mention in the link in the description box below. Great, so this is all for today. I'm going to come back to you guys with another video that will cover how do you give access rights to users in your organization. Thanks for now. See you later.